On his first day working at the police station, the man was called into the office by his superior, simply because he looked fierce. Facing the warning from his boss, Brant replied by saying his pen looked nice.
Oh, is that so? Pray tell.
You look a solid phallic symbol between your fingers.
The boss was furious. He immediately said he was going to fire Brant. Brant slowly stood up, grabbed the boss by the collar, and warned him not to meddle. The boss suddenly realized that being a cop might be the only way to keep Brant under control. Brant returned home, only to find 3 thugs downstairs trying to steal a car. He casually grabbed a hockey stick, and slowly walked toward them. One of the thugs pulled out a knife and told Brant to leave, but Brant wasn't scared at all. He easily took them down with the hockey stick. The next morning, Brant had just arrived at the station, when his colleague told him his partner Rob had been murdered, and his house had burned down. Brant forced himself to stay calm. He pushed past the reporters gathered outside the station, and went to the coroner for information, but the coroner said everything at the scene had been destroyed in the fire. Only a small piece of fabric remained. With no other leads, Brant turned to a nearby homeless man for help. The man said he'd seen the same fabric before, and gave Brant an address. Brant and his colleague went to the address, and found a thug Brant recognized. He had once been arrested by Rob for robbery. That might be his motive for killing Rob. Brant brought him back to the station, but since all the evidence had been destroyed in the fire, he couldn't be charged. After 48 hours, the thug was released. A few days later, Brant held a funeral for Rob. While everyone was mourning, the thug disguised himself in a police uniform, and slipped into the crowd, glaring at Brant with hatred, clearly intending to take revenge. Just then, Brant received a phone call, and quickly left the funeral. The thug followed him, and caught up to him on the rooftop of a tall building. Brant took off his hat. Only then did the thug realize he had followed the wrong person. At that moment, the real Brant appeared from the shadows, and knocked him to the ground. Ever since the thug was released, Brant knew the law couldn't bring him justice, so he worked with his colleague to lure the thug onto the rooftop. He was going to deliver justice his own way. With a single gunshot, Brant finally avenged Rob's death.